been forced to work on. But it's worth doing. And we will demonstrate how it's done, and you can participate in the search for more parts of Doctor Who turtle.
We got a lot of mysteries.
We do.
The crocodilian, Felix.
Felix the Croc. It's if it were alive today and you look at it, you'd say that's a skinny American croc. On the outside, it looked like an American croc. You've probably heard of the death roll, which crocs can do.
Oh, yeah.
The croc was going to eat you.
Yeah.
Grab your head or an arm or a leg and twist in the water until it comes out, and it swallows it. To do the death roll, crocs have a ball and socket joint between every series of vertebrae. Not like us. You can't do a death roll. Crocs can today because of these ball and socket joint, beautifully designed. That didn't exist in Jurassic crocs. They had vertebrae like ours. Each vertebra met the next one in a flat joint like ours. No death roll. Interesting. When did the death roll evolve? When did the death roll evolve?
So when did they actually
When did ball and socket joints in the backbone? Taking a guess, you might think Thursday. No.
Cretaceous.
Yeah, the early Cretaceous is a revolution in aquatic animals. You get the Doctor Who turtle and all its friendly relations, and the first turtles with ball and socket joints.
It's interesting, is that? Because I always thought that they could always do that death roll from the beginning.
And wait a minute, there's something else. This is so incredibly cool. If you're ever in a cocktail party where they're really boring people, like vice presidents, you're going to say, well, you know, there were turtles in the Jurassic, and they could pull their arms into the shell and their tail and the hind legs, not their heads. The neck was still short and pretty stiff in the way they protected their head. They had armor plate on the top of their head, like an armadillo. They just bend the head. Now guess what happened in the early Cretaceous? A whole bunch of turtles evolved with special joints in the neck so they could withdraw. So it was a big deal in the early Cretaceous. Why it all happened at once? I don't know. But anyway, there are secrets to be described in here, and maybe some answers.
Absolutely. So I know you folks have given the prep a try.
Yes, go right ahead. We already did some outside. We were there. You made us work outside. So.
Made us work.
They don't let you stop.
Break.
And we'll grab some goggles, some right behind you. There may be hair that goes over. If not, your glasses should be big enough to offer protection.
This chap is 300
So I'll show you how we do it.
twice as old as the Jurassic. And this is in fact our own.
These are the tools that we have to use. So we chip away rock, hoping to fracture off little pieces like that. Looking for anything we expose that's different. Bone material, tooth material.
Little tiny darkles, some of which are tiny bones. Under pretty high power.
No, I got my little, I have this
animals too.
primitive chisel in my back pocket and it got caught, so have a seat.
And you have to hum the Beach Boys song, which is appropriate for this, which is Beach Boys. Good, good.
Good vibrations.
So right in this area, you do have bone up there.
In this play here.
Where's Millersville? I've been there.
A little bit firmer. You have to find the right angle that you can get it to shift. And then you have to let it keep moving. Yes, very good. Made sure she did her job.
Ah, so when the indictments come down, sort of fun.
Yeah.
exhilarating to think that you might hit something.
That's the
You
show.
might hit something. It's like when you go to the dentist and say, filling falls out.
Yeah,
Not
same
fun.
thing, right on this
Light color
ledge.
here means it's very little organic carbon.
That's cool.
And delicate touch with very weak acid, like balsamic vinegar.
Yeah.
They almost had you filling out an application here.
I know,
Yeah.
I do that for the rest of the
I'll
day
do it,
now.
yeah.
Very, very neat.
So, seek asylum.
Yes. And so you saw how tedious that was. The last thing I'll introduce you to here is Kevin. Kevin is one of the reasons that that tedious work is still motivates us. You're looking at the very first Apatosaurus ajax maxilla. So again, a part of the snout for that animal found in the world. So you have the maxilla, and again we have maxilla, but ours is of course doesn't stick out. And then we have the premax here, which is the blue bone running down the center. Jumbled up in this is also an Allosaurus cheekbone. So you can see here, this is a relative to Ajax. This is Excelsus. The same bone, but you can see some of the differences in shape of that. This bone here, the dimensions of that. That all will help paleontologists classify this group of animals. So
it'll also help us understand what it sounded like. The snout bones of these giant dinosaurs are really, really thin. So if they sneeze, the whole muzzle would vibrate. And actually the honking of a goose is produced by vibration in a chamber of air inside very, very thin bones. That guy, the Apatosaurus, has a huge hole in the side of the snout, making it even lighter. Its close relative, Brontosaurus excelsus, very similar guy, smaller hole. They're going to produce different sounds. And actually in a computer that's used to design woodwind instruments, you can get a handle on how different that would be. You'd be able to tell by the frequency the different calls. And part of evolution is not just eating or avoiding your predator, it's attracting a desirable mate. And honking is one way, or you communicate with your friends and relations, with ma or pa or the little ones. That's, for an animal that weighed 40 tons, it's an incredibly delicate sound.
Appreciate your time.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you ever so much.
Will be a quiz.
Oh,
I hope so.
and he's got a camera. That's not fair.
That's why I'm going to come.
very good.
Just remember the Great Revolution, the early Cretaceous, when turtles, some of them, not all of them, some of them, withdraw their head, and crocodiles could do what?
Death row.
Death row.
Because they had
Ball and joints.
All joints.
socket
Ball
joints
sockets.
all through their vertebrae. These people are
I'm going to remember that now
No,
too.
there you go.
Yeah.
That's our quiz.
Yeah.
Passed.
Yeah, because when we've been to Florida and we've seen the crocodiles, they've just mentioned about them doing the death row.
Oh, yeah.
They never told us that they couldn't at one time.
Not in the Jurassic.
Yeah.
Way.
So that is well worth remembering.
Now wait a minute.
When
Don't
we
tell
go
me
next
you've
time, I
got-
can say, but at one time they
You're not
couldn't.
from around here because your accent's slightly different. Don't tell me. I think it's from Longmont.
A
No,
little bit
Kentucky.
further east.
Yeah,
East
South
Longmont.
Carolina.
Further.
Not God's own.
Yorkshire, yes.
Yorkshire.
Yorkshire.
Yorkshire is the birthplace of Jurassic fossils.
West Yorkshire.
Well, yeah, there's some of them still living there, I'll tell you.
He works with them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not changed much.
Lyme Regis. You've been to Lyme Regis, I see.
Oh, I'm Regis.
I'm Regis.
I'm sure we have, yes.
Yes, I think we have many years
Is that South
before.
Coast?
Yeah.
There are museums
Yeah.
in honor of the first person to be a professional Jurassic fossil digger who was paid to get specimens into museums, and that person's name was
Mary Annie.
Mary Hanning. She started at the age of 12
Wow.
in 1811.
Right, that's somewhere to have,
Yes.
we'll have to go then.
Well, somewhere that we'll have to go back because I'm sure we went many, many years ago when the kids was little.
I've been to Bognor, I don't know where.
I'm sure
Worth
we
the
went.
visit.
Thank you for your
Yeah.
time, sir. It's been
Yes,
very...
welcome.
thank you
You're
ever so
welcome.
much. It's been really
Yes,
interesting.
hands across the sea, beat the Bosch and all that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All be over by Christmas. That's what they said.
Yeah, that's what they used to say,
1914.
yeah,
It'll all be over
Yeah.
by Christmas.
yeah, 4 years later.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you ever so much. It's been really interesting.
And you're welcome
Really
to-
enjoyed it.
to wander around some more if you like. And there's also another excavation, another job just down here. There's a young lady, she's down there working on it, and, and she'll show you
yes.
something that's really very interesting because it's one of the first of its kind where it's all articulated together.
Right.
We can
Lovely.
say goodbye to our friend the snake.
Well, I
Two of them
didn't
in there.
even notice that
There
they
are
were
two in
there
there.
actually.
He's taking a nap. He's been sleeping all morning.
What type of them?
That's I was looking at the milk snake and the bull snake.
It's a bull snake.
Bull snake.
Milk snake is where is she? Taking in that beautiful, beautiful creature. In our community garden, I discovered one in early spring.
Oh, right.
They're just quietly wandering around.
Mm.
They're beautiful.
Yeah, she's having a nap.
So anyway, just wander around. Find stuff, and if you want, please meet the young lady down there.
Yes, we will.
Yeah, we will.
We will.
Thank
Thank
you,
you
sir.
so much for your time.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure.
Your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. I think we need to see the beginning bit anyway because we missed it.
This model depicts a life-size hatchling stegosaurus.
What do you call it? What do you call it? What do you call it? Like,
Yes, okay, thank you. That must have been a disadvantage. No,
Yeah.
no opposable thumbs. Wow. Growing up stegosaurus. Hindfoot casts. Oh, it's like we do with our kids.
What?
With handprints and hand casts.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the stegosaurus did the same. Cool. Different stegosaurs. Oh, it's there, isn't it?
Yeah, there. You can make it out.
Blimey, that's a size 12 at least.
Yeah. I've always been puzzled. Why these stegosaurs are so short?
Well, it's misleading a bit. They're strange animals. Shoulder joint is here. The shoulder blade goes all the way back to there. And that can move too.
Yeah.
So it's a little longer than it appears, but still the hind leg is much, much, much bigger. And when they walked, and that's the best stegosaurus hind,
Yeah.
and sometimes they put their 5 fingers on the ground, and this guy did, but just the tips.
Oh, right.
That's the thumb,
Yeah.
second, third, fourth, and fifth fingers. So there's very little weight on the front. So they could walk bipedally, just on 2 legs. They could twist around really, really quickly. They have very flexible torsos. And they have the thagbeiser at the rear. Interesting guys. We have found carnivorous dinosaurs that were killed by stegosaurs, stabbed into vital organs and died. So though the brain is famously small, they were dangerous. Of all dinosaurs, of all kinds, this has the highest foot loading, the pounds, the kilograms per square centimeter, is highest because that foot is tiny. Here's an animal as heavy as an elephant, a tiny, tiny little foot.
Oh.
So one would think it sought out very firm soil. One would think.
You're getting a custom tour from a real dinosaur digger. You guys didn't complete the bottom floor, but I can do that with you.
You should.
Oh, right. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I got distracted there for a minute, but let me put this away and I'll join you guys.
Right. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Ask her about frogs. Are there frogs in the Jurassic? See what she said.
Okay. So like a loaded question.
Put it away. Okay. Yeah. So.
Alright, so this is the man.
This is the one that frightened me to death when I walked through the door.
The iconic T-Rex.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is an animal that is known to the North American West here, but would have been roaming around Morrison, Colorado 65 million years ago. One of the very first T-Rex fossils ever found in the world was a shed tooth about that size, and that was over in Golden back in the late 1800s. So we continue to find some T-Rex material, that sort of thing. So we know them by their iconic small arms, huge head. We have to remember that T-Rex, his distant cousin, the Allosaurus there, they would represent the very branch that would eventually lead to the very specialized twig of birds. Birds are dinosaurs, so
Yeah.
yes, related.
Yeah.
It's, these guys they also remind us that dinosaurs dominated for a huge span of time. Again, example, T-Rex lived 65 million years ago. The Allosaurus would have lived about 150 million years ago. So some type of dinosaur has been roaming for a huge span of time. They were very successful. But we look at these two animals here. We notice, of course, similarities. Both we know as meat eaters. Both would be apex predators for the time frame that they were living, and but the skulls, there would be differences. T-Rex was a huge, massive skull. You can see how wide it gets at the back. It's got great binocular vision. They knew this animal would have had pretty good hearing, good sense of smell. This animal, much more narrow skull, would not have had the design to have the bite strength that a T-Rex did, would have had to fight in a different way. T-Rex we know is a bone-crushing force. This animal was able to open its jaws really wide. They think it would have possibly used this top row of teeth to come slashing down on its prey. Who knows, maybe death by several bites versus death by one bite from a T-Rex over there. So. And again, this is a book written by Dr. Bacher, kid's book, but it's great. In there, again, it reminds us that about that bird relationship. We see a picture here, what T-Rex would have looked like. Those would be bristle-like feathers there, proto-feathers, primitive feathers on its back. So yes, we today, for the last 20 years or so, we've found so much more fossil evidence showing animals in this branch especially that would have had feathers.
Really?
So the T-Rex was the biggest and the worst.
Yeah.
That had anything else.
Well, again, it lived 65-ish million years ago. It's the biggest meat eater that we know here in North America. I think that people would argue there certainly would be bigger meat eaters that lived elsewhere. But T-Rex, yeah, it's certainly one of the iconic
It's kind
ones.
of the one at the top, the box. A bit like we are now.
On top of the food chain.
Top of the food chain.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that predator certainly would have. If you look in today's animal world, for instance, on the African savanna, who's the top of the food chain? You know, your lions.
Yeah.
That sort of
Yeah.
thing.
So in its day, that would have been the top of the food chain. Nothing
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And certainly Allosaurus 150 million years ago, same thing, top of the food chain for that time, that environment. Here in Morrison we found shed teeth from a variety of ages of Allosaurus on a carcass of this animal here, the Apatosaurus ajax. So now this would be one of the largest animals that we know of ever to walk around Morrison, Colorado. Plant eater, so herbivore. This is an animal from that group that we know as the sauropods, the long-necked dinosaurs. These are really very special bones. They're the very first Apatosaurus ajax bones ever found in the world. They come from the Very Ridge, right over here across the street. So these date back to historic discoveries of the late 1800s. So you can see right here, the numbers 4676. That's this specimen's label would be YPM, Yale Peabody Museum, 4676, and we know that to be a part of the holotype specimens. So,
Oh.
yeah, that was, and again, Morrison, Colorado. We can lay claim to playing an important role in dinosaur discovery, certainly historically.
Oh.
See that huge scapula we have here. This animal would be up to 15-some feet at that.
You ever say they'd be very big with a scapula that big?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, another very important animal to us, the Stegosaurus. So these bones too, again, they don't look like much, but they're holotype specimens. The very first Stegosaurus bones ever found in the world. So.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, and actually our director, Matt Musbrucker, has had a chance to take some of that historic, those historic finds from the late 1800s, continue to do a little prep work, continue to remove some of the matrix, the rock, away from the bone, and by doing that, actually what he's finding, and I think Dr. Bacher upstairs may have talked about this, is our Stegosaurus, our Apatosaurus, there's something unique about them that we just don't quite find in the other Stegosaurus, Apatosaurus animals throughout this American West here, North American West.
Oh.
So yeah, it.
So they had regional differences.
Regional differences. Is it a different slice of time, slightly later in the Morrison Formation? than
Yeah.
some of the other quarries. That they don't know exactly why, but they are noticing a difference. We know this Stegosaurus here would have been one of the larger ever to have been identified. Ours is specifically Stegosaurus armatus, but it appeared to have had a really robust section in the tail here, somewhat different than what we've traditionally thought of some of the other Stegosauruses as being. So,
Oh.
yeah. And Dr. Bacher was pointing out
Yeah.
this.
because I was saying, because I'm always
Jaw
curious on how he's got such short legs from such tiny little legs like this and really
Yeah.
long ones at the back.
So they're virtually bipeds, really, aren't they?
Yeah.
Well, certainly, and Dr. Bacher would have a wealth of information there, but this is the, as far as he's aware, the only track evidence for Stegosaurus that holds the hind print with the front. You can see here different shapes. So again, they certainly were designed to raise up quite easily on hind legs, and so we do think of them like that. I don't know if there's a whole lot of trackway evidence for Stegosaurus, like a lengthy trackway to where you can see their bipedal, that sort of thing. But yeah, and here is the very first that was found in 2007. Very first baby Stegosaurus track found.
Oh.
Wow.
It's amazing you actually know what it is, because
Yeah.
it looks just like a hole in the rock to me.
Yeah.
Then again, that's why you're doing this in a rock.
Exactly. Yeah, they.
I'd probably be able to point out that really big one. I'd make that out, but something as tiny as that.
You know what's
Little
interesting is Dr. Bacher has said that he's walked past this rock, this boulder, when it was up on the ridge, hundreds of times. We're appreciating it now, and it's been a little bit prepped out. Some of the clay has been cleaned out.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it does take, they would say, correct lighting is helpful,
Yeah.
that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So did they always walk on the two back legs, or did they sometimes walk on all fours?
Well,
You know, I don't know if I can definitively answer that, other than here we do have them posed in an all-four. That would represent an all-four position. Again, we'd have to ask Dr. Bacher his knowledge of an extensive trackway that would show, you know, again, what their preferred locomotion may have been.
Yeah, because I've always been interested in the Stegosaurus. I think it's because of the little short arms.
Yeah, sure. Here we have some more great Stegosaurus fossil evidence. These are the latex peels. The tracks are here in the rocks. Can you see where they might match up?
there's one there.
Yep. This is actually a distorted Stegosaurus track. It's two animals about the same size stepped on each other's track.
No, it should be obvious, but
Like a jigsaw puzzle. No, that's not that one, is it?
Yep.
Is
You're
it-
in the
is it
area. Going that way.
Ah, that's
good.
all upside down.
Upside down. Yeah.
wow.
So, and then that over there is a very important fossil
Oh.
for us. The tiniest
There you go.
Stegosaurus track in the world.
Oh,
Ah.
So that fossil evidence there would certainly support that Stegosaurus laid eggs rather than live birth. So,
oh.
yeah.
How many eggs would they actually laid?
You know, no one's ever found a Stegosaurus egg or nest anywhere in the world, so we don't know for them. You know, some of the fossil evidence we do have, it belongs to some of our sauropods for eggs and nests. It is thought that the sauropods possibly had communal nesting, so multiple adults having their eggs in the same nest.
That's interesting.
The theropods don't appear to show that. So that is one of the things that they've thought might be going on. This here is a really great track. It has a lot of detail in it. You can feel the 3 claw impressions. You can see the push-up ridge really nicely, the shape. That is the first baby sauropod track in the world. So in here, what we do have is a little trackway. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So when you look at that, you understand the differences in the strides between the tracks.
Yeah.
Compare that to when the animal's on all fours, there and there, with the front track showing up. For Apatosaurus, this rock gives them the hypothesis that the animal was, when it's young enough, light enough, it can get on its hind legs and run.
And run. Yeah.
So it too has a configuration where its center of mass is well back in the body, and likely these animals raised up quite easily on their hind legs. So here would be, again, fossil evidence that would support just walking on the hind legs or running on their hind. So.
Ooh.
Yeah, and if we catch Dr. Bacher, we should ask what his thoughts on Stegosaurus would be.
He said to ask about frogs.
Yes.
What was that?
He said to ask you about frogs.
Ask him about frogs.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
boy.
Yes, he said that we had to ask you about frogs.
Me?
Yes.
About frogs?
Yes.
Brian, what do I know about frogs? I'm afraid I don't know much.
What do you know about frogs? Do you know about frogs?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Dr. Bacher
Yeah, I think
suggested I
it might have been a loaded question.
Yes, it might have been.
Yeah.
We'll let you off on that one.
Thank you. Is
Yeah.
he downstairs?
Yeah, he's over at the over in the front office.
Let's go here and we'll...
How are we for time? 2 o'clock? Oh, that's cool.
Thank you very much for a wonderful time here. We really enjoyed our class.
Okay, great question. Stegosaurus, and I know you've talked about it. What are your thoughts on them walking just on hind legs?
Easy. In fact, all dinosaurs are much stronger in the rear than the front bunch. If you ride horses, you know that most of us mammals are stronger in the front than the back. A horse is stronger in the front than the back. An elephant's stronger in the front than the back. A rhinoceros is strong. Dinosaurs are not like that. All dinosaurs, even those that walked quadrupedally, are much stronger in the back. So all dinosaurs could easily rear up or just walk.
And how did you find our place?
Do they, so of the Stegosaurus evidence out there, is there a trackway for Stegosaurus showing just 2 legs?
Actually, to get good handprints, forepaws, rare, that's the best in the world. And most of the tracks we've found are behind.
Yes, okay.
The dinosaurs, it's an interesting thing. They're always rump heavy. Always. Always. And you can, in the wild, I've seen elephants rear up to get tasty fruit hanging down from a tree. They can only do it for 30 seconds.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whereas dinosaurs could spend a whole weekend if necessary.
Yeah.
Which is intriguing. Did you ask about the frogs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The answer was?
We said that we'd let her off because she wasn't sure.
The earliest frog is late Triassic. You have perfectly good frog in the beginning of the Jurassic, and they look like modern frogs. They can't be frogs.
Really? Yeah, I think
They're not common. Really good ones are not common.
Yeah, so
But they're there.
Jurassic Park was right then with the amphibious DNA. Okay. Never mind that.
You've been watching Jurassic Park too much.
Yes, I am.
Right.
I like Jurassic Park.
What about sharks? I did have somebody ask.
Sharks.
They
The
date
other
back
red
quite a
meat.
ways.
You ever had shark?
No, I prefer to leave them where they are in the sea.
It doesn't taste fishy at all. You've had salmon, I assume.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Smoked shark tastes a lot like smoked salmon.
Really?
Oh.
Okay.
Lots and lots of sharks in the Jurassic. Freshwater sharks, marine sharks. Lots of sharks.
Well, then, it's been
Interesting.
illuminating.
Yes, we
so
need to see the outside bit.
Yes, we do. I'm going to look on the shop first.
Yeah, you can do.
That's quite sweet, isn't it?
Yeah, he's into it with his little legs. His little legs.
Yeah, little arms would be like this. Yeah, he pulls his arms in his shirt.
Fridge magnet. Let's have one of them.
Oh yes, what's on the fridge magnet? We didn't find any short parts up at Rock, did we?
Oh, well, no, we didn't. We didn't really have one. The Stegosaurus quite cute. Don't know if we can. There's no way we can get that in the suitcase.
No, there's no way you can get that in the suitcase.
I have to go down there all that. Oh, there's a nice pot. Mr. Penguin. Cool t-shirt.
This guy, this is Stan.
Hello. They said inside to come out and see what you were doing.
Yeah, we've been told to come out and see what you're working on.
Spray some of the dust off there. You can actually see it. There we go. A little better.
Okay.
So you can see the brown part is the fossil versus this white sandstone.
Oh, okay.
So what we're doing is we're trying to cut this chunk off so they can take it upstairs.
Oh, right. Yeah?
But what they have here is the foot of a sauropod dinosaur. I'm not sure which one of the long-necked guys. I'm thinking probably the left foot, because this is a thumb bone here.
Yeah.
Kind of the joint would be there.
Yeah, if I stand this way around, I can see which way you... Yeah.
A couple of fingers
I can see
here.
which way.
And there's a couple of missing fingers there. And they have a, right here they have a claw that they found.
Oh.
They're not sure though, this might be a right hand and it's upside down.
Yeah, that would help.
Nice big foot, and it's very special because it's one of the first fully articulated hands, like it's all together.
Yeah. Yeah.
They found bones, but not together like this. And the other two might be in here in the rock somewhere. Might run into them right there.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did they show you the tools and stuff up in the lab?
Yes.
Yes, it is. We had to
Same
go.
idea.
Yes.
This is probably the biggest one.
Yeah, it's basically an engraving pen, which is...
Yeah, compressed air.
Yeah.
This is more for like the big
stuff.
work.
Yeah.
Like carving this hole.
Yeah, carving it all out. Yeah.
And that can take many months.
Yeah. That's a job.
Yeah. What's this bit here? Could be a bit of a claw.
You know, I'm not sure what that is, but it is definitely bone. It does look like a claw to me. I'll
Yeah,
have
it
to
does.
ask him what it is.
Yeah. Looking at it from this angle, it looks as if it could be like a claw.
Yeah, like a...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be.
It'd be interesting to know.
Be a much
that,
smaller dinosaur. 'Cause
Yeah.
This claw, huge.
So this rock was just... so you dug this from the cliff? Where's it come from?
It came from up near Dinosaur Ridge, just over that hog back there.
Okay.
And,
right.
Quarry 5 is what it's called. It's all these rocks come from there. Jurassic era, about 150 million years old.
Wow.
And
I thought I was old.
it's the same stuff that you find at Dinosaur Ridge too. It's a big long rock formation that is actually called the Morrison Formation. It's named after this town. So.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Right, that's very interesting. Thank you
Thank
very
you
much.
ever so much.
Thanks for spending some time. We'll leave you to it.
It's been really interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really is. Thank you.
You guys have a good day.
Yeah.
And you.
You
When
too.
get back to your work. Thank you.
Yeah, then.
Right, now I...
So that's coming from Dinosaur Ridge. Somewhere over there, probably. Oh, what a place. That's cool. Right then. Back to the supermarket.
Supermarket. Getting back to Daphne's early. It's 20 past 2.
Country road.